Hey there folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward. In the last part, we wrapped up Hildebrand, and now it's time to finally do the Red Mage quest I've been putting off for ages, the Crimson Duelist. I see from the glint in your eye that the Soul Crystal has surrendered its secrets. Welcome to the ranks of the Red Mages. The art we practice is born of noble origin. Its balanced and controlled energies were once used to stem the tide of destruction and reclaim a future for the dispossessed. I speak of the age some 1,500 years past, when the clash of two sorcerous civilizations brought about the Sixth Umbral Calamity. Ere the Great Floods arose, people fled from their homes and into the mountains of Garabania. Even mages of Mach and Amdapor were to be found amongst the refugees. These wizardly practitioners became targets of retribution for the part they played in upsetting the natural balance, and soon did they shed their robes of black and vestments of white. If people were to survive and rebuild following the disaster, however, they would need the power of the arcane. Thus were the principles of black and white magery reinvented, and upon their combined foundation, an entirely new discipline was built: red magic. But I have prattled on about the history of it for long enough. Far better that you experience red magic firsthand. There remains the mystery of who sent kidnappers after those poor girls, and I have a feeling attempts to unearth the culprit will provide the battle practice you require. Before we plunge into the fray, however, there are questions I would ask. Come with me to Eastern Thanalan, to the Church of St. Adama Landama. Arya, there you are. I would introduce you to Father Ilya, but I believe the two of you are already acquainted. Zrohan has told me a tale of nefarious spellcasters and their attempt to kidnap two young girls. And you wish to ask if this thaumaturgical cabal is known to me, yes? There are several such cults with which come to mind, but I must have more detail. You say each member shares some rather unusual traits? Aye, not one word spoken over the entire exchange, not one shift in expression when I urged them to yield. Each of them also appeared branded with some manner of tattoo, a sigil pulsing with arcane energy. An evil practice. Such cursed sigils are known to destroy the will of the bearer, resulting in a biddable puppet which acts in much the manner you have described. There is no salvation for such wretched creatures. Then we must seek the fiends who pull their strings. Pray learn what you can of this cabal and its purpose, Father. Arya, we have another task to attend to. Might I suggest some light stretching before you step outside? You'll soon understand why. You have learned all Red Mage actions and traits to level 50. Detailed descriptions can be viewed in the Actions and Traits window, accessed under Character in the main menu. Level sync 52! Did you notice we were being followed, Arya? The very cabal we are investigating seemed to have taken an interest in us. I sense an ambush in the offing. Do they seek to silence us, perhaps? Well, then let them try. This will be the perfect opportunity for you to test your newly acquired skills. But first, a brief lesson. Red Mage's spells belong to two distinct schools, rooted as they are in the ancient disciples of black and white magic. Intertwined, they form the solid core of red magic, and through the balanced casting of both disciples can a red mage build this foundation higher and higher. When your strength has reached its peak, that is when you lunge forward and unleash the energies thrumming within your blade. And when you leap away, returning to the first step, it is a dance, my friend. Come out, wherever you are! We have no intention of running or hiding from you. I wear a sword, as you can see, but I am not partial to violence. Is there no chance we might attempt to parley in lieu of bloodletting? How unsettling. Well, Arya, it seems you will have your battle. Remember what I've taught you. Of course, I guess this was supposed to be like the equivalent of that first dancer instance or the first gunbreaker instance, but well, here we are, level 60. So, of course, the benefit of now is start with the fundamentals, cast both white and black magic as evenly as possible. So yeah, of course the benefit here is because of updates and all of that, we have some really nice AoEs we can do. We're not expected to survive the first attack. So yeah, these are definitely nice. You can just balance them out. And apparently kill faster than the instance expects you to. That's the thing, I guess. I'm actually AoEing probably a little more than I should. But I guess that's that. These puppets must have a leader lurking nearby. Let us take the battle to our ambushers, shall we? But before we resume the hunt, let us be sure of your technique. As a red mage, you are capable of casting 2 spells in rapid succession using what is known as the dual cast effect. Intone a short spell, and you will find that a lengthy incantation can now be cast in an instant. Take advantage of this technique to bombard your foes with arcane destruction. So yeah, what basically they're saying, don't cast the long. If something's taking forever to cast, or if you hover over the tooltip and it looks like it takes forever, yeah, don't cast it. Cast the shorter ones, which is going to be your Jolt, Bear Stone, Bear Fire, or Bear Arrow, yeah. Etc. Or not, yeah, Bear Stone, Bear Fire, Jolt, Bear Thunder 2, Bear Arrow 2. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for here. Your energies approach their apex. Watch for an opening and plunge your blade in. So yeah, we can now go ahead and combo, which is basically we want to interweave this in whenever we hit 80. Another orb? Ah, the fallen sent ether to their allies. And impact is another one you do not want to, was basically known as hard casting. Anything that's a long cast, you do not want to hard cast it. You want to dual cast it. There's one other spell we'll get that is a do not hard cast this. Oh, the sphere leads to the source of this ambush. Alright, I guess they're giving me a chance to, recover and whatever, in case I need to. Gather some of the Aether of the Fallen gathered. Some kind of the nether realm. Accept this feast of souls. May our lives serve as payment for the destruction of our foe. Okay, well, bye. We got Soramea here. Oh, sacrifice himself to that demon dog just to kill us? I'd be glad if I weren't so horrified to wear those fangs. Let's go ahead and combo up again here. Now, of course, you can do a partial combo, like, say, if you're lower level, you just have to kind of do the math in your head of how much of your gauge is going to take to do that. Keep your distance from the Aether it spews. So yeah, this is kind of also teaching you about the fact that Red Mage is super mobile. As I completely failed to be mobile there. And now my damage sucks. Okay, it's cool. Yeah, so that was kind of there to really quickly teach you. By the way, you can be super mobile and you can dodge stuff. You just have to basically learn the timing of when you can sneak in a spell compared to when the enemy is casting. Well done, Arya. You have exceeded my expectations. Which is a fortunate thing, for I did not anticipate the arrival of that fearsome hound. These mages were willing to forfeit their own lives to ensure that we lost ours. Do you see? The brand on her left cheek. This is the cursed sigil which stole her will and left her vulnerable to the most heinous of commands. Our ambushers were young men and women, every one, all transformed into mindless pawns by some hidden master. And this master has shown no compunction against sacrificing pieces that outlive their usefulness. No, this cannot stand. Heed me, Arya. You have begun your education in red magic, but there is much more I would teach you. Come, let's return to the Lickyard. Let's go ahead and pop on up real quick. Yeah. Red Mage and Summoner are basically the mobile casters. Black Mage is not. Know the history of these graves. The church's Lickyard was the final resting place for many victims of the Seventh Umbral Calamity. Red magic was conceived to stem such tides of destruction in an age when the abusive sorcery flooded the world with death. Its distinction from earlier disciplines is key. Whilst practitioners of black and white magic drew upon ambient ether, a red mage weaves her spells using only the reserves of mana with which she was born. In the era in which red magic was created, to do otherwise was forbidden. To manifest more powerful effects, the first red mages adopted the method by which precise sword techniques would harness and amplify the energy of their spoken incantations. The mage's own physical form serving as an arcane accelerator. An ingenious way of preserving their self-imposed limitations. Understand that the blade we wield is not simply a weapon. It's the focus of all our efforts to lessen strife and suffering. Every generation of red mage is part of an unending battle. We are soldiers who fight for those enduring violence and subjugation, the bulwark against the unkind vagaries of fate. 20 years ago, I joined the revolutionaries in Alamigo and learned red magic alongside the like-minded companions. We formed the Crimson Duelists, and together we rose up against the tyranny of the mad King Theodoric. We were crushed. Of all the duelists, only I survived to watch our homeland languish under the rule of imperial invaders. Even after leaving Alamigo, I never ceased fighting for its liberation. And when I learned of the calamity, a threat to all lands of Eorzea, I allied myself with the valiant scholars of Charlian. In the end, I was unable to protect my homeland or halt the approach of fiery disaster. But never once in all these years have I betrayed the oath the duelists swore to champion the weak with heart and steel. Such is the nature of the magic you will learn from this idealistic fool. If you would master this art, however, then my road shall become your road for the duration of your studies. I will remain here at the church for the time being, and be a pest to the good Father Iliad until we uncover the origins of this cult. Your only chore shall be to reflect upon the lessons of the day and prepare for our next encounter. So of course that was supposed to be the Untold level 52. And here we are, a rewarding struggle. How fares your training, my friend? I imagine you have grown quite accustomed to the shift between spellcraft and swordplay by now. I will continue to instruct you, but as I have said before, practical experience will serve you far better than any tiresome lecture. It is important that you treat every battle as an opportunity to learn. Speaking of which, Father Iliad mentioned that he had something he wished to discuss regarding our sigil-branded ambushers. Let's head inside, shall we? I am ashamed it did not occur to me earlier, but I recall an incident that may be connected to this dreadful cult. A merchant's son was kidnapped in Ul'dah some moons ago. When the merchant came forth to pay the ransom, however, both father and child were murdered. The perpetrators of this terrible act were never unmasked, but evidence of the scene suggests that the two were slain by thaumaturgy. What is more, the merchant was a native of Alamigo. Is this not also true of the father of the girls you rescued? Aye, he is Alamigan born, a man by the name of Wilkin, so his wife told me. Could he have been the true target of the kidnappers? We must speak with Master Wilkin at once. There are too many similarities in these cases to ignore. That would not put it past the cult to make a direct attempt on his life. In anticipation of such action, I inquired after Master Wilkin's trading itinerary. It seems he is presently conducting business at the Manderville Gold Saucer, delivering stocks for game prizes or some such. Very resourceful of you, Father. Thank you. Come, Arya. The Gold Saucer awaits. My apologies, Arya. I neglected to ask if you're a patron of these halls, but we are here now, and Master Wilkin is still occupied with his trade. I am tempted to eavesdrop on his dealings to learn what manner of man we are saving. Let's play the part of happy gamblers and wander by his beating in the Manderville Lounge. Just look for the wonderfully hideous golden statue. Oh, it didn't load. It's back here. Oops. There is our Master Wilkin. Thank you again. We'll make the most of this gift, I promise you. Back straight and head up now, lad, or folk will become suspicious. You've done not wrong besides. The coin is fairly gotten and freely given. The young man he was talking to, he is known to me. One of the lads belonging to the Alamegan Resistance, if I'm not mistaken. Well, this is clearly more than some simple business deal, but why waste time on suppositions when we can speak with the merchant himself, eh? He's vanished! Mistress Arya and Masters Rohan, I am glad for this chance to thank you in person for the kindness you showed my daughters. Father Iliad sent word to expect you. He also mentioned that the danger to my family is not yet past. He suspects that I have been marked for assassination. Have you any idea of the why? Say, retaliation for funneling funds to the Alamegan Resistance under the guise of standard business dealings? I thought as much. I recognize your client as one of the young freedom fighters I'd seen in Girabanya. Oh, rest assured that your secrets are safe with us. I myself have spent the better part of my life aiding the resistance. Your dealings do, however, seem to have drawn some rather unpleasant attention. Very well, you saved my children's lives, and so I will trust you with the truth. Many Alamegan refugees are employed here at the Gold Saucer, in no small part due to the wishes of the establishment's owner, Lord Godbert Manderville. Several of these employees have direct ties to the Resistance, the young man you saw being one such conduit. As to why I meet them here, well, it is a manner of hiding the trees within the forest. There was another incident not so long ago where the son of an Alamegan-born merchant was kidnapped by the cadre of mages. When the father attempted to pay the ransom, the fiends slew both the parent and child. I fear the scenario was one they hope to repeat with you. Yes, a terrible turn of events that was. I did not know the merchant personally, but I knew of his efforts. He, too, was said to have supported the resistance with the fortune he made in Ul'dah. And there we have our connection. I see to eradicate resistance sympathizers. I sense the hand of the Empire behind this cabal. But the assassins themselves favor magic, so they are unlikely to be native Garleans. The puppeteer could very well be a hired killer, or mayhap a recruit from a subjugated province. We shall learn the truth in due time. For now, however, we must take steps to keep you alive. Lord Manderville is a member of the Syndicate, and the Gold Saucer is his domain. Striking me here would be difficult to say the least. I do, however, have pressing business to attend to in Vesper Bay in the coming days. Vesper Bay, eh? Given its peculiar approach, I can think of a dozen places from which assassins could stage an ambush. Might you entrust your safety to Arya and me? Together we'll prove more than a match for any ambushers, and it would also afford us greater insight into our foe. You certainly appear capable. I will gladly accept your protection. Then so, let's travel ahead to Vesper Bay and scout out the area. So of course, Vesper Bay being Vesper Bay. Okay, pray return to I'm okay. Maybe. No. I'm not. Good, you're here. Master Wilkin has begun his overland trek from Ul'dah. Before he left, I asked a good merchant to discuss his travel arrangements with less than his usual discretion. Assuming assassins have eyes and ears on our target, we can assume they will have moved to occupy the most favorable ambush sites. Now, if I were intent on murdering a lone traveler, I would choose one of two options. The first being the alleys here in Vesper Bay, and the second being the long, dark tunnel leading into town. I propose we split up and secure both areas. I will take the back streets, and then you can have the old mining shaft. Sweep the tunnel clean of ambushers, then meet me back here when you are sure the route is safe. Alright. I see a battle. Hello. You're gonna die. Painful death. Yes you are. Great RNG there on the mounts. Defeated their ambush, did you? Well done. As you can see, they had a second group waiting in the wings. Your opponents were the same attackers as before, yes? I pity these cursed pawns. We cannot let mercy stay our hands. They are a little different from the walking dead, and no art can restore them. I did, however, allow one to escape my blade. On purpose, of course. He seemed eager to disengage, and so I obliged. He limped off towards the coast, but with the wound I gave him, he'll not have fled far. I will track this last assassin to his destination. Pray remain here and greet Master Wilkin. He shall be arriving through your secure tunnel any moment now. Should be right up here. Ah, Mistress Arya. Here I am, with nary a scratch upon my person. My deepest thanks. You have saved my family, and for that I can never truly repay you, but I must at least try it. Pray share this gift with Master Ruhun. My supplier will be waiting, and so I must take my leave of you. May Nald enrich you and bless your endeavors. With a stroke of luck, the man I followed leapt into the sea and was fished out by others in a rowboat. Last saw them making for a merchantman anchored out in the bay. Considering the absence of fear, I must assume the one who fled had been commanded to report the outcome of the ambush. If we can identify the ship, then we'll be one step closer to unmasking this vile puppeteer. And then we can... another token from the esteemed Master Wilkin. How kind that he seeks to reward us. Ah, and there's a note here as well addressed to us both. You have my eternal gratitude. Twice now has my life been saved by red mages, and twice by one in particular. Mayhap you remember the day 20 years ago when the Crimson Duelists fought to save the life of a child. I remember you, Master Ruhun, for your scarlet garb was forever etched into my memory. It's a strange feeling to be recognized for a decades-old deed. Had he not known me, would he have been so ready to place his life in our hands, I wonder? Aside from a few wrinkles, I suppose I have changed a little my appearance. I was clothed thus when we worked to evacuate our fellow Alamegans, even as the homeland we knew crumbled around us. But in the end, it is the lives that matter, not the place. Regardless of the circumstances, a red mage must strive to achieve the greatest good. So I have always believed, our actions are our reward. A little acknowledgement does wonders to sustain one's faith, eh? Tracking the Cabal. I've asked some friends of mine in the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to keep an eye out for that ship. We should know if the assassins seek to enter any of the major ports. Ah, my Lunacian contact. This is Ruhun. And they are still there? Excellent, thank you. It seems the assassin merchantman has been spotted sailing at the Ale port. Come, we have no time to lose. My apologies for dragging you halfway across the realm, but I did promise you a journey. Now, as for the merchantman, I'm told it's anchored a short distance offshore. We need to know about the connection between this ship and our foe. They may have simply paid for passage, but there is something about that vessel. I say we wander the port and see what gossip there is to be had. Looks like we need to head over here. No. Here? Down here! I would be in the clunkiest amounts. The merchantman just sailed in. I don't know buggery about it, but not even the bleeding name. All I knew was her crew's about as lively as a cabin full of corpses. It ain't natural. There's a rumor going around that the Yellow Jackets have taken an interest in their dealings, so I'd rather keep me distance any road. I'm finished answering your questions, now off with you. Okay, be that way. Nay, me lass, I've not much to tell you about that ship. They say she's a trading vessel that brings good from rods at Han, but her crew's a sullen lot. Asking a friendly question about what they was hauling got me naught but blank stares and silence. Oh god, the Firebird! So I actually really hate getting the Firebird in the roulette because it's just so big! That ship's not but trouble, you mark me words. I've mates that swear they've seen her pulling alongside Imperial vessels. Only gods know what hiding in that hold of hers. Could be weapons, could be prisoners. Just the bleeding sight of her makes me whiskers twitch. Were you able to learn out of interest? Strange crew? Mr. Gargo. Ship's name unknown. I heard much the same. I'm beginning to think their assassins use the vessel as a floating base. With no permanent camp on land, it would certainly be easier to avoid the attention of local forces, not to mention curious adventurers. I also spoke with an acquaintance in the Yellow Jackets, and he confirmed the ship's official status as a trader to and from Razat Han. Even if rumors of her dealing with the Garlean agent. Even if rumors of her dealing with Garlean agents in open water are rife. As long as the merchantman appears to trade within law, however, officials are reluctant to force their way on board and cause an incident. They've yet to uncover enough evidence, it seems. Well, if a solid reason to investigate is lacking, mayhap we should help them find one. Let's have ourselves a look in some of their crates on the docks. Just a little innocent curiosity is all. I'm like, it's around here somewhere. Okay, it's down here. The crate contains a cerulean tank of Imperial design. Under attack? Don't even have to cast. Book key falls from them. how did your investigations fare? I found a very little bounty of military supplies, cerulean tanks, imperial rations, imperial insignia. It was on everything. The authorities will be most interested to hear of this, I'll wager. What's that you have there? Well, well, dropped by one of the ship's crew members, you say? And I just so happen to find the most inconveniently locked box. I should go and relay our findings to the Yellow Jackets. I'm sure you'll think of some use for that key of yours. You hear a faint groan coming from inside the box. What? Where am I? Was I sleeping in a box? What an odd thing for me to do. Does anyone remember anything? Of course Oh, perhaps not. No, wait, I remember something. Arya! My name is Arya. I think? Is it? It is a lovely name. It's pretty close to mine, but... You think so? Then I suppose it will do for now. And what does a girl call you? Aria. I'll try to remember that. It's pretty close to my name, but I'll try. Thank you for letting me out. What happened here? Is Autumn Miss? Are you really trying to hide behind me? This last was inside the box? I might suspect a stowaway, but it was more likely she was kidnapped. The people who took you may be lurking nearby. We should probably put some distance. Come now, you needn't fear me so. Arya, please, say something reassuring, would you? He's a powerful mage. You've gone and frightened her even more now! Never mind. Let's see about arranging some lodgings for now. We can discuss where to go from here. Poor girl was asleep within moments. The entire ordeal must have left her exhausted. As a result of our efforts with the cargo, I suggest we continue this conversation outside. I presented our findings to the Yellow Jackets, and the evidence was indeed sufficiently damning to spark a full-scale investigation. Regretfully, it appears the assassins caught wind of the coming storm. A squad of soldiers was dispatched to the docks only to witness the merchantmen sailing away with all hands on board. Not quite the outcome we hoped for, but at the very least, they'll no longer find a warm welcome in the Eorzea's ports. The other issue we face now is what to do with the Arya here. Her breath carries a faint aroma that may account for her memory loss. I suspect she was subjected to a certain incense which, when inhaled, can cloud a person's mind. The next step was likely to brand her with one of those evalual sigils and effect the permanent destruction of her free will. It was fortunate that you released her when you did. Arya remains muddled, but her condition should improve with time. And once her memories have returned, we can learn exactly who she is, and just as importantly, perhaps the circumstances which led to her capture. A Vermilion Vendetta. I spoke with Arya, but it seems her memory is yet to return. The incense used must have been potent indeed to create such a lasting fog. If she cannot recover naturally, then we must rely on some familiar sight or event to jolt her senses back to normalcy. Might I ask that you take her out somewhere to test my theory? She seems far more comfortable around you, after all. At the very least, I would know from whence she hails. I shall call once more upon my acquaintance in the Yellow Jackets. Surely she has family who are searching for her. Arya, thank you again for letting me out of that crate. Such a lovely sleep. That awful tiredness has left me, but I still can't seem to remember anything. Outside? Well, yes, I suppose a fresh breeze might help to blow away the cobwebs. I think I'd like to see the view from the battlements. Will you join me up there, Arya? Look, isn't it beautiful? I've never seen anything so... Is this really the first time I'm seeing this view? I try to remember, but my mind is a blank page. I can be sure of nothing. We'll make you new memories. Make new memories? Oh, I hadn't thought of it like that. It's almost a gift of sorts, isn't it? Being able to enjoy things afresh? I think I'll stay up here for a while longer, just to be sure I'll remember it tomorrow. Oh, do you see that ship? How do you keep such massive things afloat? Fun ships, are you? Well, yes, I am. I think I might always have been. What an insightful question. Remember when I was a child, it was big, my uncle too. Oh, I remember. I had an uncle. This is my only family. He tried to protect me, but... Forgive me, the exact events are still a jumble, but the memory was not a pleasant one. That day, it's all coming back in a rush. You think we might return to the inn? I need a moment or two. The Yellow Jackets were able to dig up a report on Arya from their records, and I hurry back to share the news. But seeing as her memory of the incident has returned, I'd rather hear the tale from the source, as it were. From what I can recall, I've always lived with my uncle. He was a kind, gentle man who would often tell me stories of my parents. I was young when they died, too young to remember them, I think. The report mentioned that you were citizens of Limsa. Do you remember where you were when the attack came? Yes, we were on the road to somewhere. The ambushers appeared as if from thin air. My uncle stepped forward to shield me. They killed him. What happened after that is a blur, but my memory of that moment is crystal clear. Thank you, Arya. You needn't force yourself to remember the rest. For now, we must concern ourselves with your future. It would not be charitable to send you back to town alone, especially now with significant parts of your memory still missing. Yet we cannot ask you to accompany us either. Our journey leads us on a path to confront the very cabal whose malevolent embrace you have but recently escaped. I would go with you, even so! You saved my life and helped me accept the loss of my past. If there's a chance my memories could return and lead you to these villains, then I would stay at your side. How can I refuse such passion? It seems we've adopted a new companion, Arya. The greatest challenge facing us now, however, is deciding on our next destination. The merchantman is fled, and we know not whither it is bound. Isles of Umbra. I remember. They were the only words I heard them speak before I blacked out. Isles of Umbra. The master calls. The puppets do not, nay, cannot speak idly. Ready yourselves, Arya. We cross to the Isles of Umbra and confront this master of theirs. You as well, Arya. We will fight together. Oh, hello, solo instance. The Maelstrom soldiers tell of a steady stream of tight-lipped arrivals. It was soon the master gathers all of the marionettes to the Isles. I named Arya with what I armed Arya with what I had, but I can fight. Fight? You can barely talk, lass. I thought her afraid of the mages who took her, but nay. This is the thought of ghosts and ghouls which have her all a tremble. Can you believe me? The very ground here feels haunted, as if angry spirits might burst forth at any moment. Like that shadowy thing behind you? What? There's not there, lass. Now, can we get a move on, or would you rather head back to Aleport? I'm coming with you. Level Sting's 58. So now we get, well, actually all our current tools in their arsenal. So we'll have our 60 skill. We know the Cabal is gathered here. We need to only find them. Oh, I guess they're waiting for me to move, huh? We have no business with the dead. Come along. Alright. Sometimes I'm really bad about going off balance, but mainly because I just forget where I left off. I'm really good at that. Especially if, like, I'm just trying to focus on certain things. My mind just forgets. Fallen are restless this day. Someone has riled them against us. I try and be generally okay at it, but sometimes I'm a bit iffy. Alright, we've got some empty Maguses up here, is there? No, there's nothing over there. We found them! I'm trying to cast thunder on me. How cute. Alright. So there are times where I will just go ahead and use like Corpuscore for just damage. Usually I try not to because obviously you don't always want to be up front and fighting, but sometimes if it ends a fight and you don't think there'll be another fight for, say, 30 seconds. Another handy thing, of course, is Accelerate, which lets us force continuing our combination. Originally, it only did one at a time every, like, 60 seconds or whatever, but now you get 3. Like, when it comes up, you just get 3 stacks of it. So you can do, of course, 3 spells in a row. Arise, remnant of the underworld, feed upon my essence and devour their souls. Another sacrificial ritual. Stay back, Arya. This foe is beyond you. Well, we got Fear Gorta. Go ahead and just do our combo here real quick as I lose all the frames. Oh, I need a stack. Hold on. I also have my acceleration up. You can see it doesn't actually like show the stack on there, but if you read the tooltip, you'll see it says gives you 3 stacks of it. Yeah, I mean it was good when it only gave the 1, like at the start of Shadowbringers, but yeah, it's way better now with the 3. I think they did adjust the cooldown a bit, but still. I was a little worried when they first adjusted that. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Draw the taunt from its minions. I shall occupy the shadow. You destroy the lesser sprites. Or spirits. Alright. So that gets rid of his invincibility. Let's go ahead and do that. That's the way. Now we can finish him. Still really bad sometimes about watching my accelerate. And mainly, it's probably because I haven't been practicing Red Mage as much lately. So I'm kind of like, just out of practice on it. Probably the main reason for any issues I might have with paying attention to stuff or missing combos. And with that, duty complete. The hand that controls these assassins cannot be far. Let's split up and search, shall we? Yell if you run into trouble. I guess by split up and search, I mean go into a cutscene again. Delectable. Your immortal frame brims with vital energies, an irresistible feast. Arya, are you unharmed? Lambard? A pleasure to see you, Zurhun. My, how the years have etched themselves upon your brow. That smirking bastard is Lambard. We were allies once. Ah, yes, the valiant Crimson Duelist. Such fond memories. I relished their slaughter. The duelists live on through me, traitor. Not for long, my old dear friend. You shall soon share their fate. Arya! Crude interruptions. This is not how I wish to savor your defeat. Lambard! God damn you. You knew that man? Yes, yes, we'll speak of it later. First, I would know where you learned to cast spells like that. I don't remember anyone teaching me. It just sort of happened. Just sort of happened? I expected you to club things with that old scepter, not fling balls of fire. Incredible. So, Arya, does this mean you've overcome your fear of the undead? Well, my friends, shall we return to Aleport? Now that we've unmasked the Cabal's master, I can tell you this much. He is not the man we wish to confront unprepared. The question is, how many times am I going to pronounce Arya as Arya, even though my last name is Ariana, and I'm confused now. As was apparent through our unpleasant exchange, I have a history with this master of assassins. His name is Lambard. 20 years ago, he and I were part of the group who founded the Crimson Duelists. We studied the fated teachings passed through generations of Girabanians and revived the art of red magic as a weapon against tyranny. But one day, Lambard simply snapped. He murdered my unsuspecting comrades and vanished into the shadows. I returned for scouting alone to discover the aftermath of a massacre. It was later that I learned his treachery had been paid for with Imperial coin, but never could I find out what became of the man himself. After 20 years of fruitless searching, I thought him dead. This has now become a matter of vengeance. I beat the pursuit of Lambard and exact a price for his betrayal. I will not ask you to join me in this vendetta. Worry not, Arya. Your grasp of red magic will allow you to grow without the need for a teacher. As for you, Arya, I will arrange a suitable sanctuary. I will not turn you out to fend for yourself. I shall treasure the time we spent together, my friends. May our paths cross again. Shall we let him go off on alone like that? I don't know about you, but I feel my part in this is not over. Yes, Arya? Was there something else? There is more for me to learn. There always is, but you are far enough along the path to continue without me. Surely you understand that. You're determined to improve yourself, I see. It is obvious why Alize spoke so highly of you. Very well, we stand together then. You are more comrade to me now than student Arya, and I welcome your sword at my side. I'm coming too. I want to help save others from this monster just as you saved me. I want you to teach me red magic. As things stand, I'm just a burden to you. If I'm to do more than be carried along in your wake, I need my own way to make a difference. You certainly do have an aptitude for the arcane. Lambert appears to target such use for recruitment into his puppet cabal. But Arya rescued you from that mindless fate, and now you would don the red to fight in our crusade. There's a sense of rightness to it, isn't there? Stand with us then, Arya. Join the ranks of the Red Mages. Arya, Zerun. You look splendid, but it's more than clothes which make the woman. Help me train her as I trained you, Arya. I'll pay close attention, I promise. Oh, and Arya, there will be no more hiding behind Arya. Is that clear? I'll try to be brave. On Lambard's trail. Lambard and his puppets are acting under Imperial orders. That much is certain. Ever since we thwarted the attempt on Master Wilkin, however, it would seem they have abandoned him as a target. The merchant's life is not worth all the assassins we cost them, I'd wager. But it will only be a matter of time before the Cabal is given new prey to hunt. I've called in a favor with a friend to investigate possible targets, and he has agreed to meet us at Hawker's Round in Limsable Mensa. This fine gentleman here is Real, a former member of the Company of Heroes. He's been helping us with our investigation since before we left for Aleport. Ah, the two of you have met, I take it? It's good to see you. Good to see you too, Mr. Redbridge is here to mention you was on the road together. Anyhow, let's get straight to business. I did some digging into that floating fortress of your Cabal. Their merchantman dabbles in a bit of trading to keep up the charade, so I started paying attention to where the goods ended up. I think you'll find that Lambard gets his orders from the Imperial base in northern Thanalon, Castor Meridianum. That's your best bet, I reckon. You are a treasure reel. I'll pass on any new information we manage to uncover. For now, though, consider the favor repaid in full. Arya, it's a drowning wench. That's not gonna throw me off at all. Right, we have our destination, so let's discuss the objective. We need to storm Castor Meridianum and locate documentation on Lambard's next target. A poor choice of words, perhaps. To clarify, one of us will provide the diversion, while the other two slip inside and rifle through dust until we find what we're looking for. Better? Arya, you will be our decoy. Draw away as many of their sentries as you can and buy us the time we need. Arya, we will run you through some practice exercises. I see you have been honing your skills on various beasts, but this will be your first battle against thinking opponents, yes? Very well. Make your preparation, friends. We meet at Robon's Push. Hello. I should probably deal with you. So this is the A rank of Northern Donalon, and I don't really feel like trying to fight it on my red mage right now. So we'll see how this goes. I have no clue. Paralyzed 3. This is not good. I am now paralyzed. Perfect. At least I'm doing damage to it. Just don't paralyze me during that. Thank you. I greatly appreciate your cooperation in this matter. Now there's my paralyzed. Oh no! Sun and prey. Come on. Oh gosh, that hurt. Ow. I'm saved! I had this, I totally had this, but more importantly, I'm saved! Okay. Now we just need to, let's just do this real quick. Get rid of that. And we're good. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. It's only because it would aggro me on my red mage, otherwise I wouldn't have cared. Right, just as we planned, Arya, do your best to become the center of Imperial attention. Arya, you're with me. Once inside, we'll split up to hasten our search. So steel yourselves for run-ins with patrols. I hope I'm ready for this. Just keep your head and you'll be fine. You've not quite reached Arya's level of skill, but your offensive magics are, to be quite honest, terrifyingly powerful. Your restorative arts, on the other hand, well, let me just say that the scales swing both ways. Now I think on it, I wouldn't say I like balance in much the same manner. It must be something in the blood, but rarely have I met such an extreme case as you. Not to worry, we'll work on your weaker aspects until you find an equilibrium, such as the key to excelling in red magic. Now let us set to work. Head around to the front of the base and make a nuisance of yourself, Arya. With the growth you've shown, I'm certain you can handle whatever those Imperials throw at you. We'll be sneaking in from the backside. Will you hold their attention? Please not to fight all of them at once. Try not to. Oh hey! And there's the B rank. Fancy that. Anyways, let's go ahead and take care of these guys. That died in one cast? These are a little easy. Okay, that was a little tougher than I expected right there. Ah, here we go. Finally, a decent target. Maybe. Maybe not. Slightly more decent. Kind of. It's always funny when they're still near each other like that. You don't do things by halves, do you, my friend? I could hear the commotion from the other side of the wall. Our foe was so focused on your battle, I dare say we could have walked out with an entire shelf of records. As things stand, however, we contented ourselves with the knowledge of Lambard's forthcoming operations. There is much to discuss. I suggest we withdraw to the cerulean plant, that we might converse in relative safety. But it seems the experience has taken its toll on poor Arya. Are you able to walk, my dear? I guess I also could have called out Dracona. Well. Too late now. I see the colors return to your cheeks, Arya. Do you feel any better? Much better, thank you. I may have been pushing too hard to perfect my white magics. From what I witnessed, I'd say you have much work yet ahead of you. Keep at it. Be positive. I will. Let's return to the subject at hand, shall we? We uncovered documents detailing the Empire's deployment of the Cabal, and as much as we surmised. The Cabal's assassins spirit away youths with arcane aptitude, much like our Arya here, and deliver them to Lambard for branding. Once the cursed sigil has destroyed their wills, he fills their empty minds with lethal thaumaturgy and conditions them to follow his every command. Seems, however, that the formation of the Cabal itself was a relatively recent development. Lambard received Imperial orders to organize his puppets into an expendable force, a fearless, unswervingly loyal cult of assassins that could strike against resistance supporters in lands beyond the Empire's reach. This plan, as well as Lambard's involvement, was proposed by the Crown Prince Xenos, heir apparent to the Emperor. Even within the Imperial Legions, this man has a reputation for cult brutality. Aside from his mastery of red magic, Lambard is well versed in ancient spells and rituals. Doubtless this knowledge, coupled with his singular lack of moral character, did much to curry the favor of a monster such as Xenos. And now we come to the Cabal's next assignment. I could scarce believe my own eyes, even as I read the details of the operation. Lambard's next target is the Garland Ironmark I, the company of engineers founded by the great Cid Garland. As a sanctuary for Imperial defectors, the Ironworks has long drawn the ire of the Empire. And if that wasn't reason enough, the company has also begun sharing engineering secrets with the Alamegan Resistance. To my knowledge, this will be the highest profile enemy that Cabal has ever been deployed against. But the operation will not target Cid himself. They have a far more effective method in mind. The plan is to assassinate Garland's senior staff, and the name at the top of the list was Jesse, his deputy president. Cid's ideas cannot be brought to fruition without a talented team of engineers, and the organization itself will grind to a halt without Jesse's expertise. Her loss would be a dark day for Eorzea indeed. I've communicated the details of the planned assassination to the Ironmarks. Unlike Master Wilkins' case, however, Lambert has been ordered to succeed at any cost. He will keep sending his killers until the deed is done, or we put a stop to this Cabal for good. And that means bringing down Lambert himself. Arya, I will need your aid. Sharpen your swords and ready your spells, for we are going to war. Stained in Scarlet. Lambert will be preparing to move on the Garland Ironmarks. According to the plans we viewed, they know that Jesse is scheduled to accompany a delivery to the Alamegan Resistance. The ambush itself will be sprung on the outskirts of Revenant's Toll. She makes her way to a waiting airship. Could be a simple matter for us to lie in wait in Mordona and take the ambushers and Lambert by surprise. Our success will, of course, hinge upon Jesse's cooperation. I've arranged to meet her to hammer out the finer details. Pray travel ahead to Revenant's Tome. We will find you on the terrace above Rowena's House of Splendors. sorry, were you looking for me? I just felt more comfortable waiting in the corner. Oh, Rohan and Jesse are here. Right, I've heard all about this big plan to murder me. I'm surprised no one's tried it before, considering how the company starts to fall apart the very instant I leave the room. Any road, I understand that you and Miss Arya... Any road, I understand that you and Miss Ariana here are in charge of keeping me alive while I make my merry way to the airship. Is that correct? Lombard's been instructed to bring his entire cabal to bear on this operation. As long as they've no hint that we're onto their plan, then we stand a chance of wiping out the lot of them. I only wish we could manage it without exposing you to danger. Maybe we could, if I pretended to be Jesse. Dress you up as a deputy president? That's actually a rather clever idea. Let's get the girl a costume then. I'm not afraid to act as bait, but when push comes to shove, I'll only be in your way. We'll need to do something about that hair. There we go. From a distance, no one will be able to tell the difference. It's just up close, you're a bit short. Can I stretch you out by a foam or two? Stretch me out? I'm only pulling your leg, lass. I appreciate what you're doing for me. If you're ever in need of a favor, I'll be happy to pay you back in kind. Our remarked airship will soon arrive at the cliffside outside town. Arya will make for the vessel whilst pretending to be Jesse, and you, Arya, will act as her bodyguard. We still have a little time until the airship is scheduled to depart. Make whatever preparations you need, then meet me by the Aetherite. Time has come. The Ironworks airship makes ready to depart, and our battle with the traitorous Lombard fast approaches. There is, however, one thing I've never been able to reconcile. Why did Lombard sell his soul to the Empire? He was the duelist's most brilliant scholar, not the kind of man who would betray his homeland for gold coin. I was baffled when I heard the Empire had bought his loyalty. But no matter his reasons, the crime he committed was unforgivable. We shall bring him to justice. Let us see the deed done, my friends, to the southeast gate. This is it, Arya. Take the path towards North Silvertier and keep up the pretense as best you can. The airship is waiting near the Keeper of the Lake, but we can be sure that assassins will make their move before you arrive. Arya, it'll be up to you to protect Jesse on the road. Rather than let them flank us, I will intercept the large group meant to fall upon you from the south. You continue to surprise me with the potency of your offensive magics, Arya. With the progress you've shown, I have little doubt you could hold your own against one or two of those mindless assassins. But I must ask that you do not engage in combat unless absolutely necessary. The goal is to lure Lombard himself into the fray, and our charade must be convincing. Arya should be more than a match for his puppet underlings. I have no doubt of that. Right then, off I go. Oh. Rescue. Okay, fine. Dragana, let's do this thing. definitely get you experience. Aiding! That was some battle. Are you ready to continue on? I'll go on ahead as before. Capture the right enemy there. Not that it mattered. They were thrown out far enough for me to not be able to AoE there. What the heck? Thanks, game. You make it look so easy. Hello? Yes, Arya has defeated every ambush so far. Very good. I've just finished mopping up the flanking group and will take up position near the airship. We continue with the charade for now. Make to board the airship as planned. Arya and I will conceal ourselves nearby until Lambert makes his move. He should have few of his puppets left, and will be forced to take action directly. That's when we strike together. Did you hear all that, Arya? Let's keep moving then. Alright. Just past the entrance, right up here where there's a nice little solo instance marker. Levels. Oh wow, I'm actually surprised it's a 62 sync, not 60. Actually surprised. I guess because the cap was 70 when this came out. What have we here? An imposter. Tsutsuma fallen victim to a child's ploy. Your cabal is in ruins, Lambard, and this time you'll face the consequences of your crimes. But first I must know why it's your coat for the Empire, after all we've achieved together. Ah, still the same simple as Rune. The same tiresome idealism. You're a plank. How many lives did we save, you and I? And what did that truly accomplish? The ancient art of red magic is capable of so much more. The red mage restricts the source of his mana, but accelerates the effect of his spells via the medium of his own physical form. And what would befall such a mage who then attempted the same techniques while channeling the vast ethereal energies of nature? A fool's endeavor. The wielder would be consumed. Just so. And there we see the true potential of the art. Imagine the incredible powers we could unleash were we not caged within these prisons of flesh. It was in the wisdom of the ancients that I discovered the means to transcend their limits, a method to transform one's vessel and command ever greater magics. The price to be paid, however, was a costly one. Restructuring my body required years upon years spent in arcane slumber. And was it worth it to surrender that which makes you mortal? I freed myself from my chains! I now command energies greater than any found in black or the white or the red. Or crimson duels were merely my first step towards greatness. Noble sacrifices for a greater cause. You damnable fiend! My art is unfeathered by weak-minded taboos. You cannot best me with your feeble red magics. Never once did I lose a duel to you. This day will be no different. You always were the better fighter. I'm barely succeeded in giving you a scratch. but a single scratch is all I need. You see, as a consequence of my transformation, my strength lies not in harming your body, but draining your spirit. Once I have wounded you, your life force belongs to me. You! Mr. Hoon, no! Well, you yet draw breath, but not for long. I shall send you to Falls Realm with the answer to your question, my reason for joining the Empire. My new form allows me to wield spells of a magnitude denied to ordinary mortals, but I must feed. If a fellow consumes sufficient life energies, then I'm afflicted with a terrible hunger. My work as an assassin provides me with fresh prey and an ideal environment with which to pursue my research. I am eternally grateful to Xenos for his rare and generous understanding. You speak of achievements, but the constraints of red magic offered naught but frustration. And now, after 2 decades of futile resistance, is your struggle finally over? My friends, you must flee. This is far from over. Students of red magic, are you? Come then, show me how to resist the advent of your own destruction. I'll teach you the lie your art is built upon the inevitability of your fate. Please teach us art is a lie. With red magic, we carve out our own destiny. It's kind of iffy. Almost overran it there. So we really aren't doing much damage to him. Yes, I'm bright little magelings. Your essence will be all the sweeter. Trying to tie you well, but his tutelage will not prepare you for this. First, I do have to remember. Oh, hey, my mouse is dying. But I can't heal. Watch out for these constant fire throughs. I have to leave my peace long enough. Your souls are mine to devour. Remember what I did this room. We cannot be wounded. Anyway. Quickly heal your injuries. Do not let him steal your ether. So yeah, that's basically being like, by the way, make sure you remember you can cure yourself. Clever. You sealed your wounds with magic. Well, power hides within you. How long until I run it dry? Arya, be sure to heal yourself. Why did it backflips or go back so far? Jeez. Your resolve is commendable. I have massive magic of the ancients. Flaming flame. There's no escape. Your soul shall shrivel. So let's go ahead and take care of one. What if we broke the spears? Go ahead and take care of this one to give ourselves a nice little safe spot, which is usually what they intend for you to do when it's all nice and set up like so. What? No, the Void Flame was vulnerable? And with that, can't be. Kind of out of tricks at this point. Impossible. No mortal can rival my power. sacrificed everything. My comrades, you are the champions of the red. Drune, you mustn't try to move. I'm not dead yet, lass, though it was nice that you thought to avenge me. What a miserable pair would make, the last of the Crimson Duelists staining the ground scarlet with their blood. I can't even claim this final vengeance as mine. That honor goes to my students. Ah, but there lies the difference between you and me, Lambard. Your puppets follow your commands without question, but not carry on your legacy after you're gone. Is that what 20 years of struggle has taught you? I admit the sense of justice with which you infect others has delivered you victory, on this day at least. But the fates are known for their spiteful twists of fortune. Take this Arya of yours. I'm fine. It was a trying battle is all. Will this be the injustice which breaks you? A pity I will miss your suffering. Lambard knew something and it seemed to amuse him. Are you truly alright? I feel much recovered, honestly. We should return to Redmond's Tall. It's still an effort to remain upright, but I believe I'll live. Seeing how you countered the technique which felled me was a proud moment indeed. You and Arya make a fine team. It's a name thing. I expect the Deputy President will be along shortly. You have my thanks. Had you not uncovered this plot, I would almost certainly be dead by now. It's quite a sobering thought. 'Tis Arya and Arya who deserve your gratitude. I was busy bleeding to death whilst the two of them vanquished the assassin's master. Is that so? Well then, feel free to send the bill of any expenses incurred on this operation to Sid himself. With Lambard's death, so too will his cabal of assassins cease to plague us. For much of my life, I've lived with failure, the loss of my homeland, my inability to help prevent the calamity, but I chose to fight on in the face of these defeats. It has taken 2 decades to right the wrongs of my past, yet finally have I managed a tangible victory for my home and for Eorzea. You have made this possible. Thank you, my students, my comrades. We learned manification! So manification, this concludes the Red Mage quest for Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward. In order to undertake the next series of quests, you must complete the main scenario quest, The Far Edge of Fate. Once you have done so, the next Red Mage quest will be available from Drune Tia. So magnification is doubles the current black and white magic levels, resets corpse of core, and displacement recast timers. All combos are cancelled upon execution. Also, I'm now 61. So yeah, this basically lets you go from, say, 40 to 80, just like boom. You can thump in, hit magnification. Oh look, your corpse of core is back up, and you can just start pushing back, right back up towards 80, just like that. And you basically just kind of combo between magnification, and then next time you use your embolden, and so on and so forth. Yeah, it lets you do your combo more often, which means more damage. Another thing, no, not another thing yet. Not yet. That's a later buff. I'm used to 80. Anyways, that concludes it for what I'm gonna do for now for Heavensward. I mean, there's still some stuff I could do, like I still haven't done Turning Mist. You don't see that. If I ever do Turning Mist, I'll go ahead and get that quest again, but yeah, haven't done Turning Mist. There's a few other side stuff that I haven't done that was added in later expansions, and point is, I want to get to the next expansion. So, next time, we'll start Stormblood. Woo! Yay! We did it! We did it! So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. If you really enjoyed it, consider supporting the channel. All support greatly helps her keep making content like this and more. You can find the links for that in the description, along with links to me on social media. So thank you again for watching, and until next time, this is rinimt, signing out. The heck is that voice? Whatever. Bye!